Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, a game that has teams going in different directions and two teams that still very much are in the conversation for the Big 12 championship. Oklahoma comes off a loss to Kansas, not exactly the game they wanted to have last week. They just looked kind of dead. There were certain times where it didn't look like the Oklahoma team that we saw against Texas. It didn't look like the Oklahoma team that put up 50 points against Iowa State. We saw the Oklahoma team that struggled against Cincinnati and SMU. The problem is that Kansas put up 38 points and they didn't have an answer for it. They lost 38-33, and now they're looking to bounce back in a rivalry game. That being said, this could be a second loss in a row because Oklahoma State is not feeling sorry for them. They are ready to make a statement. They want to give Oklahoma their second loss of the year, but Oklahoma has ways that they can bounce back. I think the loss of Andrel Anthony really hurt this team. We didn't really see that impact because I think that you've seen the depth of the passing attack. Dylan Gabriel's had a number of wide receivers that he can hit downfield, but I think that big play threat is still yet to reemerge. I think Andrew Anthony was that big play threat. Maybe Nick Anderson can take over that role, but you need to find someone that can take the top off the defense because Oklahoma State, let's be honest, at the pace that Oklahoma's playing, the Cowboys cannot keep up with that. That being said, you have to find a way to put the foot on the gas, pedal to the metal, and get back on track. The defense, I think, at times played really well for Oklahoma, but I think that there are still certain things that Kansas did well that could be exposed. The physicality at the line of scrimmage will be a big key, and we'll explain why in just a little bit. The guys like Ethan Downs and that defensive line will play a big role. The guys behind them, obviously, at Jaron Kanak, Danny Stutzman, they'll play a big role in this too because of the physicality that Oklahoma State brings. The Cowboys are run behind Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon is someone who I was really high on coming into this year, and he's having a huge season. Over 1,000 yards rushing, 10 touchdowns. He's having monster season. Just got compared to Barry Sanders with his production. That's a huge praise for a running back who's just getting started. Someone who's very physical, has a huge frame, and will definitely make life miserable for Oklahoma if they're not careful. This is a guy who's really fun to watch. He has big playability, and they found ways to get him involved in the passing game as well. Maybe not the best pass catcher, but definitely someone, if you can get him the football in space, you are definitely in trouble if you're an opposing defense. Colin Oliver is transition, I say, to a new position, and he appears to be just fine. 9.5 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, still an explosive playmaker, very athletic player for Oklahoma State, and that will play a big role in slowing down Oklahoma. Oklahoma wants to throw the football. Don't necessarily have to worry about the rushing attack as much, but you still have to worry about that passing attack. So guys like Colin Oliver getting to the quarterback, dropping back in coverage, play a big role. We talked about a number of players and what they could do because this game is all about the players, all about the matchups. Quarterbacks obviously play a big role. We're looking for Dylan Gabriel to bounce back. Can he fix those mistakes that hurt him against Kansas? Because there's times where his indecisiveness really hurt Oklahoma. And the pick six was the perfect example, the first touchdown for Kansas. Don't hesitate. When you see what you want from a read, make the throw. Don't reshuffle. Don't second guess your decision. Just do what you need to do and make it happen. Because when you look at what Oklahoma can do, they can move the ball down the field with relative ease against almost anybody. It comes down to the quarterback play. That being said, on the other side of the ball, Alan Bowman has, I think, finally taken over as the quarterback. I think he's finally solidified his role as QB1, but I think that he still has a lot to prove. We've seen what he can do years ago at Texas Tech. I think you've seen the big playability, but now you're playing with a little bit more confidence. The offense appears to be a little more balanced. Obviously, Oliver Gordon is doing the most, but this comes down to what Bowman can do. If he can find a way to balance out this offense, then I think that this team is in better hands. Jaden Bray has an opportunity to showcase his talent too. He'll go against the talented secondary, against guys like Gentry Williams, against Billy Bowman. Those kinds of guys will play a big role as well. But this is a game that comes down to what style is going to win. Can Oklahoma and their passing attack continue doing what they're doing best, fix their mistakes from last week, or is the rushing attack of Ollie Gordon and the Oklahoma State Cowboys going to dominate once again? I think that's really the biggest question for me. Which style wins out? Which quarterback makes the plays that they need to make? And which quarterback fits into their system better? Because if Dylan Gabriel is playing like he can, where it's just not carefree, but very free, very open, and very loose, then I think Oklahoma's in good hands. If Alan Bowman is making efficient throws and making the most of his opportunities, Oklahoma State looks like they're in good hands then too. The fact that this is a rivalry game, and when you come to rivalry games, you expect things to be messy. You maybe don't necessarily expect the biggest performances. Though those are definitely possible. A guy like Ollie Gordon could rush for another 200 yards. Dylan Gabriel could throw for 400. This is the game that has a lot of weight on it. Not only because it's a rivalry game, but Oklahoma State is playing lights out right now. Oklahoma is reeling a little bit. You get the game of Bedlam, and now you get a chance to make a statement. You get a chance to everybody to really focus, or in Oklahoma's case, refocus on what you want for this season. And the fact that there are Big 12 championship aspirations on the line, that makes this even more incredible. These are two teams that know what's at stake. They know what the other team represents, and they know what a win gives them. And right now, there are two teams here that really need that win for various reasons. A third loss for Oklahoma State wouldn't be great. And a second loss in a row would really send Oklahoma into some questions. Can they continue competing at a high level? What does it mean for life in the SEC? And that's what really this game comes down to. Now, that being said, I think that Ollie Gordon's performances are really incredible. The only way I see that they're able to continue winning is if he does that again. I think Oklahoma's front seven is extremely physical. They will be ready for this test. They have heard about it all year, and especially lately. Now they know exactly what's needed. They know what it takes, and it's a rivalry game, so you know everyone's going to be juiced up for it. Oklahoma to me wins this game because I trust them more than I trust Oklahoma State, even with Ollie Gordon's success. I don't know if I don't trust Alabama to make the right call every single time, to make the right throws. And I think I trust Dylan Gabriel despite his performance. I think when it comes down to it, if this game is tight in the late game in scenarios, I trust Dylan Gabriel. And for that reason, give me Oklahoma because I just trust what their quarterback's going to do. And I think that they bounce back this week.